I want to show you how draw.io macros are handled when migrating pages from Confluence to SharePoint. There is a happy path, so to speak, where Confluence provides an image for every draw.io macro, and WikiTraccs will migrate that as part of the page's attachments and show it in SharePoint. But there's also the case that seems to happen quite often where those preview images are missing. So let's first look at how preview images work in Confluence for draw.io macros. I have a page here in a local on-prem Confluence instance that is showing two draw.io macros. Both are from the same draw.io diagram, and one is page 1, the other one is showing page 2. So when looking at the page attachments, we'll see that there are several attachments. One is the draw.io diagram. It's called sample diagram. It has no file extension. Then there is a temporary file that draw.io seems to create. And then we have two preview images. So one is a PNG file, sample diagram. That's for the kind of main view. So when you add a draw.io diagram to a page, the diagram editor will create that. And then we have basically the same PNG file again with a hash added. And this one is for page 2. So, and for every separate page or also layer you embed on the page, on the Confluence page, you will get different of those files. Now, when migrating this page to SharePoint, and I already did that, this looks like this. So the page is here. We get a replacement text saying that this is a replacement and not the actual draw.io diagram. And we see the image of page 1, and we also see the image of page 2. And when looking at the page attachments in SharePoint, it looks like in Confluence because all attachments were migrated. Now, there are cases where those images are missing, and I'm going to create this situation right now. I delete those files here. So preview image 1, delete that, preview image 2, delete that also. Interesting is the draw.io diagrams don't care, they still render, although there are sometimes in some views, for example, when editing the page, well, sometimes the images are missing and sometimes apparently not. So there are certain views where the images will appear missing, sometimes they appear broken, and sometimes they are here. So, but when migrating this to SharePoint, in SharePoint, the images normally would be missing. So, but a latest addition to WikiTraccs allows those images to be recreated. Now, those images are normally created when editing the diagram. So when I go to edit mode here, and this is one way to get the image back. So I just I don't think I have to change anything. I just save and exit. And now what the editor should have been doing is creating this image again. And it's important to highlight that this is done on the client in the browser. There's JavaScript running that creates and exports this image. So this is not done on the server or in Java code. So it's just in my browser. So the only way to get this image is basically to open the diagram in the browser, in a browser, and export it from there. And this is what WikiTraccs can now do. So let's go to SharePoint, get rid of those attachments here, and also we delete this page and we will re-migrate this page. Let's quickly go to the side pages library. It's our sample diagram page here. Delete that. Okay, deleted. Then go back to WikiTraccs. Now there is a setting where you can check create missing draw.io preview images, and then it will do exactly that. So let's start the migration here and see how that looks. And already when doing the connection checks, you will see that WikiTraccs is checking that that it can create preview images, because what it's doing is it starts a browser and loads the draw.io viewer from viewer.diagrams.net. And here it's important to highlight only the viewer is loaded from the internet, but data stays local. So the diagram is not sent to any external server. It's just handled locally by the editor that was loaded in the browser. So now I have to sign in. I'm Adele. Let's do that and give it a moment to remigrate this page. And when migrating the page, WikiTraccs will look for the preview images and now sees, okay, preview images are missing. That's not good, but it will now open the viewer, load the diagram, the right page as well, and then create the preview image and upload those images to SharePoint. And it has to start a browser, because the browser is the only place where we can get this image from. Let's finish uploading. Let's have a look here. Provisioning. Okay, and it's done. Let's go back to SharePoint. Reload. Sample diagram is here. And now the images are here as well. And when we now look at the page attachments, it looks kind of the same, but also a little bit different. WikiTraccs creates those preview images and tries to create it according to the same naming scheme as draw.io. So it uses here sample diagram.png, sample diagram, and the hash. It's the same hash as in Confluence, but it adds a little postfix WT for WikiTraccs to avoid collisions with files that might be there for whatever reason. So, and we can also look at the details here. The ID of those images will also be different from normal Confluence content IDs, because it's no Confluence content. So WikiTraccs created it basically out of thin air. Let's see. So here is the content ID on the right side. It has a format that allows basically to trace back where this image came from in Confluence. Yeah, so this is one way to get those preview images back. Hope you like it.